Welcome, everybody. This is George Rogers, and we are back again with HR Tech Talks. And I'm so excited about this guest that we have today. Had the opportunity recently to be a part of one of our sponsors for our learning live stream just a few weeks ago. And so we're excited to have this conversation today. I want to remind you, as always, as you're joining in, we love the conversation. We love the comments in the chat. So if there's ever a time where you have a question or there's something you agree with or you love or like, make sure you hit the like, share, follow button as well to join in that conversation, as well as commenting as well. As always, don't forget, we want you to be a part of all the HR Tech Talks that we do in the future, and you can be notified of that if you visit hrtechtalks.org. Subscribe there to get more of the future notifications, as well as be able to visit us in the past videos that we've had in the past. But without further ado, I want to talk a little bit and have this great conversation on something I'm very passionate about. We recently, as I mentioned, had our learning live stream and discussed one of the top passions that I have in learning and leadership development. Today, our guest and our previous sponsor of that live stream is going to join us here now, and we're going to talk about the importance and the impact. So let me, without further ado, welcome our guest, Satish. Welcome, my friend. Could you real quickly just share a little bit about yourself, your name, passion, and then your role with the company as well?
Sure. Nice to be here, George. Hello, everyone. I'm Satish Kumar, CEO and co-founder of Glider.ai. We are a skill validation platform. We enable some of the world's best brands with a skill-based hiring and learning to screen, interview, hire, and retain as the most important asset, that is their people, right? My passion truly aligns with companies' mission to make hiring fair and opportunity accessible. I believe our technology is helping companies build and keep their dream team and candidates land their dream job.
Awesome. So let's dive into this Glider AI. Tell us a little bit about some of the problems for those who may not have heard of Glider before. What kind of problems is your technology solving for your clients?
Sure. So we help companies hire, retain, and grow talent by keeping skill and talent quality at the center. So we are able to address the entire recruiting funnel and continue into the employee retention with practice-based learning. We help companies lead with the skill first people strategy by validating skills for any role in industry, ensuring candidate integrity, and making interviews relevant at a scale and speed using our Engage, Assess, and AI guided interview products. Uh, with our real world evaluation, candidates go through an awesome candidate experience to showcase how capable they are, and that must correlate to their job performance, right? So, overall, with our solution, we are able to reduce the time to fill by almost 50%, able to improve their placement rate by 3 times, and we're able to improve the talent quality in the pipeline by 68% with almost 90% plus candidate satisfaction. So they are the critical KPIs that companies need to be able to scale their hiring operation and to be able to build their talent inside their organization.
Yeah. One of the things that we talked about, and you and Ben had this conversation on our learners live stream, and I want to kind of talk about it a little bit more in depth, because I think a lot of times when it comes to the skills, right, we talk about cross skilling, upskilling, and reskilling. What are some strategies that companies or even leaders that are watching today, that the challenge is, what's the strategy behind it? It sounds good. It sounds encouraging. We want to be a part of it. What are some true strategies that we can build and have to really support and, better retain, employees that are looking to grow within the company, or just in general growth for themselves?
Sure. I, Let me start with saying that it was clear from the data that Lighthouse Research did with the skill first people strategy, is that the people strategy is priority for leaders and their team. Even with that, the data also showed that there isn't meaningful conversation happening, right? So I believe there is a systemic issues that is preventing with skill first people strategy from becoming a real practice at the organization. So, first of all, companies need to make skills measurable holistically, right? It should come from their declared skills, like they submit their resume or their profile, what they say that I am good in certain areas. Second comes the inferred skills. I mean, that includes activities like your task completions or learning. These can also be fed to my skills that have improved with these activities. And third is validated skills that can be through assessment or some kind of certifications. Uh, this will make a skill first people strategy more meaningful, and that helps ensure a culture of continuous learning in the organization. So, while providing access to tons of courses and material is a beginning, but it does not provide the outcome that you expect as a company. It has to come with some kind of incentives, project assignment, career progression, and business goal. Only then um, the access to course will be taken to next step by employee who are going to actually work on it. What I have seen that the course completion uh, will provide you a certificate of completion, whereas what you're really looking for is a meaningful certificate of competency that is validated, right? It should allow people to be able to perform in more practical situation. So for the skill development, we do believe that the most effective skill uh, development happens through practice based learning that is relevant to the skills and the role of the company. And also at the same time, you want to make sure that people have expressed the interest and intent to grow in certain career path, and it has to be mutually beneficial, right? It also helps companies secure or get a buy-in from the cross-functional stakeholders as well. And the good part is that Glider enables customer with those skill-based assessment, gap analysis, practice-based learning path, and a skill certification that allows company to use this strategy to be able to really figure out their upskilling strategy, reskilling strategy at the organization.
Yeah, you said some things that I feel like is really important. There's always these challenges, right, with companies that are wanting to add in learning and helping provide access to their employees to really grow their skills. And then there's this tug of war, right? What's actually meaningful to the employees? How do they learn? Right. Some people are very hands-on. For me, I love a hands-on experience. Then I have people that are on my team that thrives, which is leave me alone, give me this test, let me practice it. Um, what do you say about those challenges that organizations face? Because I mean, there's a tug of war, right? You mentioned having different options and opportunities. Why is that so important to be able to provide those opportunities?
People are unique. Their
Yeah.
learning styles are unique. Their learning abilities are different, right? Some people thrive on visual learning. Some people are good to excel by just analyzing a lot of data, right? People are data driven. So having a system where they can access learning modalities, whatever is made provided by the company, that suits their own need and their learning style. But I will always tie that to validating those learning through either assessment or some kind of certification, because just having a claim that hey, I've spent these many hours by browsing this learning material or by being engaging in certain activity, I'm proficient. The way to really validate that proficiency must come with a highly curated and a task that is designed considering design methodology, sorry, learning methodology, to be able to assess has the person become proficient, because only then they can be put to the real world task where they can excel. So to answer the question, to summarize that, right, it has to align to their learning style, learning abilities, and then further to be tested through objective measure uh, in a different system.
Yeah. So how can companies then align? Because we talked about alignment. One of the things for me that I try to encourage companies, especially when I'm helping them with the leadership development or having those conversations, everything that I did in leadership, in every position that I had, I always wanted to align our company's core values with each and every step, right? We hire based on our core values. We coach out based on our core values. Our leadership development strategy was based, like everything was tied into who we was as a company. That way we're living our core values, right? So if we say we care for each other and our employees in our community, how do we show that we care? We provide skills, we provide opportunities for upskilling and reskilling. How can companies align their core values with leadership development strategies?
Very good question. And unless leadership is part of the whole decision making, this does not thrive well. So I think a skill is a strategic driver for an organization, culturally, competitively, and monetarily as well, right? So it's a business critical. So it's essential for an organization to embed a skill as a part of larger company vision, mission, and ultimately the culture, right? So like any core values, the best way to ensure is to involve the company. And I think I mentioned earlier, the learning culture has to be part of the organization to be able to be added to the core value. And idea is that can we practically adopt inside the organization that this is the core value we want to pursue, and must be blessed by the leadership team. So at the end of the day, if you really want to align the core value with the leadership development strategy, a skill has to be an important consideration in the core value. And then the good part that with Glider, we're able to enable the skill to become measurable, practical, that they can ensure that everybody understands the importance of that, and it culturally gets embedded in the organization.
Yeah, so good. I want to ask a question. I believe one of the things that stuck out, and I think this audience will love it as well, um, and hopefully it's meaningful when it comes to Glider, and this is specifically about your customers and clients.
Hmm.
Why are clients coming to Glider and shifting towards a skill first approach? What are the benefits for those that are watching right now, listening to this conversation, that says, yeah, I'm interested in Glider. What's that shift towards skills first approach for your current customers that maybe potential customers can hear about and say, I want to make that move as well?
So traditionally, people have been, trying to assess individual competency, capability through various means, and humans are biased by nature. We have our own confirmation biases. We believe that our methodology is the best. How can we enable that through a data-driven approach, be it in the hiring process or be it internal talent development? And the most objective currency you can have is a skill, a measurable skill, a validated skill, where you can be very confident that a person is capable of excelling in the job roles. So companies, when they see the outcome that we are able to produce, and believe that, hey, this is the most objective and confident way to hire a talent or create a progression path for the individual in the organization. They 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 have some trials done with us as well, and based on the outcome, they choose Glider to adopt in their organization. um, Primary focus, what I've seen is that uh, people understanding of a skill becomes more widened, and their way to measure a skill becomes more objective, and they are the two drivers why they choose Glider.
Awesome. Maybe one or two more questions. I don't want to pick your brain too much or get off subject. You talked about the hiring process. And I know that this has been a discussion before, just kind of behind the scenes, when it comes for companies who are doing skill based hiring, and how that's contributing to them building a more diverse and inclusive workforce. You mentioned those things. One of the questions that came up, and I remember in our chat as well, was talking about how removing degree requirements, right, can help in attracting a wider talent pool. How could companies navigate some of those shifts when it comes to hiring, skill-based hiring, degree requirements, and things of that nature?
So the traditional markers of assessing somebody for a job role has been all the things that you said about their degree, their colleges, sometimes race, ethnicity, etc. As well, we look at somebody, we unconsciously like it or dislike it, right? And all these markers, unfortunately, disqualify candidate upstream in the hiring funnel. They don't even get a chance to participate in the process because of those traditional marker. And people who are coming from underprivileged society, for none of their fault, I mean, they're poor, they didn't have access to means, they don't have those things available. But the good news in today's world is that there are free things available today. It was not possible 15, 20 years ago, but today you have access to free learning content. People who are driven and hungry can learn and become better today. The problem is who will give them the opportunity, right? And the goal here is that what if we do not look at the traditional marker and we simulate tasks, assignments which are reflective of what they're going to do on the job, and then if anybody can perform those tasks, give them the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So that way now we will have an objective measure without excluding people for on those traditional marker. Now you have a wider pool of candidate as well, right? They're saying that talent is everywhere, opportunity is not. Our goal is to open up that opportunity. Don't be biased by what they have done in the past, who they are, doesn't matter. They are able to perform the task today, right? So that opens the top of the funnel, and then downstream, they're able to prove themselves. It really what is unbiased hiring.
Awesome. Satish, is there anything on your heart or your mind in regards to Glider, anything exciting that you would like to share or touch on that we haven't touched yet?
I'll always say that, when somebody gets a opportunity, it's not just that individual, but it brings happiness to their entire family, right? Uh, Open the access to the opportunity to people, and company like Glider is enabler of that. And I feel so happy to be doing what I do, because I truly believe fundamentally that we are bringing happiness to people's life. So if you adopt a skill first people strategy, it's a doorway to spread that joy.
Yeah. Awesome. One of the stats that we shared in our learners research was 72% of employers say that the lack of clarity into employee skills puts a cost of burden on the organization. And there are some challenges there, and we talked about those things. And that's some of the things I believe, if you're watching today and you're interested to learn more about Glider AI. Satish, could you share a little bit about where they can find more information, how they can connect with you as well?
Sure. You can visit our website, Glider.ai, or follow us on LinkedIn. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Send me email directly at satish@glider.ai. I have a very open door policy, and I would welcome a new connection and enjoy the conversation, especially if it is about making a skill first people a strategy.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, my friend. I thank you for this time. Thank you for this conversation. For those who are out there, listen, if you're into searching for skills, assessments, if you're looking for a software company that prides himself on those things and the purpose and really help and support employees as well as employers, being able to provide a platform that's safe, secured, and that is purposeful and meaningful with outcomes, then I encourage you to check out Glider.ai. We'll have that in the chat as well, where you can click on, make it easy and accessible for you as well. But Satish, I want to thank you again for this opportunity to sit down and have this conversation with you.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed the conversation, George. Have a great day.
Awesome. Great conversation. Again, if you want to know more about the conversation that Satish and Ben had as well, I encourage you to go visit LHRA.io, our Lighthouse Research and Advisory page for more information. You can find all our research studies on there as well for the learning and skills that we just went on. There was a great conversation with Ben as well with Satish. So if you enjoy this conversation, you want to have more in-depth conversations or listen to the wisdom and insights that Satish has, I encourage you to visit LHRA.io as well as a reminder to visit hrtechtalks.org. Make sure you sign up for notifications there. Until next time, continue to champion your purpose, and we will see you on the other side.